Low energy levels? Me too. In order to add some color to our grey life, let's watch a corporate mouse on the journey to learn CSS. Join me and see things like this. Because why not? A CV web page, part 2, background and font. Hi there, it's Katcoolka. How are you today? Take a seat and let's watch how we'll continue our journey. In the last part of this series, I've created a HTML structure or initial structure visible on the left side of the screen, and on the right side of the screen you will see the future web page, which will be displaying all the changes I'll be doing in HTML and mainly in the CSS. So what is the current plan? I'll be displaying the steps I would like to do in the OneNote. Let's highlight it in yellow and read what is this all about. So we should set the size, color and font type, or the font itself. We should also center the text, and inline elements are centered using text align center on their parent. We will see how it will work. And center the whole page. Block elements are centered by setting the width and margin left auto, margin right auto. Okay, I'm not sure if I will accomplish everything in this one video, but definitely it will continue in the next one. With that being said, I will switch into the CSS file. So during this video I will be switching between the HTML and CSS. For better orientation, you should see that in the top left corner in the bar on the left. With that being said, let's start with the CSS itself. I'll type the first selector called body, and we will add the property and property value. So you might ask, okay, so what is a selector? Basically it points to the HTML element you want to style. In this case I would like to style the body element and add some properties with property values into curly brackets. Curly brackets combine all the properties for selected selector and assign the styles to them. The first property I would like to change is the background color of the whole future web page. So I'll type background color and select one color that reminds the one used in the original template I'm following, and it is blue. And as you can see on the right side, it is super blue or electric blue. It's piercing my eyes and it's really not the same shade as used in the template, so I will add the correct color used in the template. I inspect the element of the original CV web page and it is this color. In the 6-digit hex number it is 4dbcf8. And if we compare it to the original template, which I have as a picture in the OneNote, you can see it is the same color. During the editing of this video, I cut off a lot of empty minutes where I just stare on the screen, not doing nothing, so sometimes you will see some jump cuts in the video. Just FYI. The next property I would like to change is the width of the body element, and I will set it to 600 pixels. So once we refresh the future web page, you'll see minor change. I'll try to refresh it after each property, so you'll see the change and how it looks like in the future web page. If you are interested in the hardware I'm using for creation of this video, please check my description box down below with my affiliate links. The next property I would like to define is the text align, and I will align it in the center because if you remember the picture of the CV I'm trying to replicate, the whole text was displayed in the middle, so text align center should do that. Let's refresh it. And the future web page is showing us the result. In this part I would like to define the selector H1 or heading 1 and declaration block in curly brackets. In order to do that, let's define what is a declaration. The declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolon. Each declaration includes a CSS property name and a value separated by a colon. Multiple CSS declarations are separated with semicolons, and declaration blocks are surrounded by curly brackets. Great definition from w3schools.com. As you can see on the left side, now I am defining the property called font family. In order to do that, I inspected the original web page with the CV, and the font family used in that page was Montserrat Helvetica Arial Sans Serif. Why is it important to use the preferred font family? If your first selected font is not supported with the web browser, it will automatically select the next one in the row in order to display the text properly. At this stage, I would like to also change the color of the heading 1, and the main color in this theme will be white, so I will add white to the text. And now I see I have a typo, nobody told me that. Okay, so let's go back to the HTML and correct this issue or mistake so we have a proper Curriculum Vitae text. Okay, so the next selector or HTML element that should be defined is the H2 or heading 2. So I'll start typing H2 with the curly brackets, and first thing that should be defined here is the color of this property. The color is a bit different, it's a bit darker than the background, and the code for that is 367FA6. I'm starting to feel a bit blue looking at all those blue colors and shades. 50 shades of blue, because why not? Now I realize that the font family is applicable only for H1 or heading 1, which is not good because I would like to apply the whole font family for this whole page, which means that I need to move or cut it from this H1 location into body, so it is applicable for the whole page, not only for the heading 1. And after refresh of the future web page, you see what I meant by that. What we should define next? So, in my opinion, let's start working on paragraph and let's change the whole visual of that part. At this point, I think you really understand what I'm doing. Basically, I'm calling each HTML element and I'm changing how they look like in the future web page. So it's quite straightforward. Once you have few properties defined, they can help you because they act as a library, so you just copy and paste the property in the new selector, like I am doing with the color, and I've copied it from the H1 selector, so I don't have to type it. During the course I'm following, I learned that it is always good to remove any default setting of the web browser, and you can do that by defining it on the top level. I will do that for body and HTML by defining the margin to 0. And another important part of the theory is that if you want to group selectors, you should separate them with comma, and this is due to the fact that you will use less code, so it will be shorter. Less code, less work. If you remember, at the beginning I mentioned that the text should be centered, and we should do that with text and inline elements using text align center on their parent. But what if I change the text align center to text align left? Will it mess the whole layout? I think so. I can try it on the H2 element, and also I can change the paragraph so the whole text in both selectors is aligned on left and it looks completely different than it is in the layout or the template I would like to create. Now let's make something different. The text below the Curriculum Vitae heading is a bit different in the final template, so we need to define it a bit differently. For that reason, I will assign an ID in HTML just for this one paragraph because it is very unique in the whole template, and I will call it main in order to refer to this one. In CSS, I will call this special element by typing a hashtag and calling main, and then I'll define the color for this special element or selector, which is the same as the H2 heading. And as it is right below the Curriculum Vitae, I will center the text with the text align center. What can I change in the last few seconds? I will scroll up and add the padding for this whole page, and I set it to 0. After the refresh of the future web page, we do not see much difference, but at least we now know that the margin and padding of the body and HTML is not affecting the rest of the selectors. Are you interested if I achieve the required result? Please consider subscribing, liking this video, or leaving a comment under this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.